Hi guys, Bolts968, but the O is 0. This is the latest episode of one player from each Premier League team who each Premier League team could sign, and in this one we're looking at Southampton. Now, I've had it at a few points this season where I've had to dish it up a bit with certain teams who look like they could get relegated. I've had to make some choices on whether they stay up in the Premier League and some choices on whether they go down to the Championship. With this one, I'm sorry to say, I know it's not mathematically proven yet, but I can't see Southampton getting out of this, so I have solely looked at this from the point of view of a Championship side fighting for promotion next season. Again, apologies Southampton fans, it is the way I see it coming. So hopefully, with some of these signings, you might bounce back up. Arsenal, Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Quite an easy one to start, considering Maitland-Niles is currently on loan at Southampton. He will be available on a free in the summer, and although he hasn't set the world alight, he knows the club and will be a very good player in the Championship next season. Aston Villa, Courtney House. Southampton are going to lose a whole host of players in the summer, and I think a spot which will need new additions in is centre-back. House is a decent defender who has experience in the Premier League and Championship. I think he would do quite a solid job for Southampton, who will be able to get him in on a free. Bournemouth, Jamal Lowe. Jamal Lowe knows the English Football League very well, which is the type of experience Southampton will need to rely on. A tricky, fast winger with an eye for goal. He isn't having his strongest of seasons currently, but in the 3 previous seasons before that, he scored 7, 14 before that, and 15 before that, which is a really solid turnaround for a winger. Brentford, Mads Bech Sorensen. Another centre-back pick here who I think would do a solid job in the Championship. It was only a couple of seasons ago that Sorensen was a first-choice centre-back for Brentford within the Championship, and I think he will pick it back up very quickly again. He is only 24, which would mean he could come in, make an instant impact, and be at Southampton for years to come. Brighton, Steven Alzate. Alzate is a tidy central midfielder who has a level of ability which would shine in the Championship. Currently out on loan in Belgium, where he has contributed 7 goals in 24 games in the league. He will provide a good goal output from the midfield, and Southampton will need goals across the team if they are to bounce straight back up to the Prem next season. Chelsea, Ian Maatsen. Southampton are going to need to bolster the left side of their defence, and Maatsen will be absolutely ideal. Playing very well in the Championship this season, it would do his development well at this point to keep playing regularly, which he isn't going to do at Chelsea. Given another loan spell, he would do a brilliant job at Southampton and would be a driving force for them down that side. Crystal Palace, Jaro Riedewald. This is a player who is at a point in his career where I think a move away will benefit him. Versatility is a big strong point in this pick, as he can play in a number of positions and is something that would suit Southampton and their needs down to a T. He wouldn't cost much money at all, so I think this is one Southampton should try to complete. Everton, Andros Townsend. Townsend's contract will be up in the summer, making him available on a free, and it is a free transfer which I think Southampton should push to make. He's been injured for a long time and it is unknown when he is due back, but if he can get fit, I think he'll be a baller in the Championship. He's a very good player and would suit the Southampton squad well. Fulham, Steven Sessegnon. Twin brother to the more well-known Ryan Sessegnon, Steven Sessegnon is a good young centre-back, currently plying his trade for Charlton on loan. I think he would be a good option for a Championship side, and still early in his career he could develop into a top talent. Not to mention he can play at right back, which would cover the likely departure of Kyle Walker-Peters and Livramento. Leeds United, Tyler Roberts. Roberts knows the Championship very well, which again Southampton will need. An international attacking midfielder who can play up top when needed. He would be an option for Southampton in a couple of positions and could grab them a few goals. Leicester City, Yannick Vestergaard. Vestergaard joined Leicester from Southampton back in 2021, and I think he would benefit from a move back to this club. He has been froze out at Leicester and needs a transfer away to another team. I think he is possibly better than the Championship, but considering this is an old team who he played well for and who would have a good chance of bouncing back up to the Prem, he could make an exception and come back to lead Southampton to promotion. Liverpool, Rhys Williams. Rhys Williams, the man that formed an unlikely partnership with Nat Phillips during Liverpool's injury crisis of 2021. I'm sorry to say, but he isn't good enough for Liverpool and should be moved on. It will likely be teams in the Championship who are going to come calling, and Southampton could be one of them. He'd fit in well at that club and will bolster the numbers back there, which I think will be lacking after the summer transfer window. Taylor Harwood-Bellis. Harwood-Bellis has been a major part of Burnley's promotion drive and could well return to them on loan again next season in the Premier League. But if he doesn't, a similar loan move to a promotion-pushing Championship side would be the right move for him, and Southampton will be an ideal club for that. He will benefit from game time to continue his development, and they would benefit from getting in a defender who has recent experience of fighting for promotion. Manchester United, Ethan Laird. The second player in this episode who is currently out on loan at QPR. He has been playing most games for them in a right-back position, which Southampton will need to bolster. They could get him in to strengthen that side, and at only 21 years of age, he could serve the club for a very long time. Newcastle United, Javier Manquillo. I was going to pick Jeff Hendrick, as he has played nearly every minute of Championship football this season and will provide a great central midfield option for Southampton, but instead I've decided to look at that right back position again and have gone for Manquillo. Newcastle will look to offload him this summer and will probably let him go on a free. Having played for some massive clubs in Newcastle, Atletico Madrid and Liverpool, he carries a wealth of experience and will be a standout player in the Championship. Nottingham Forest, Steve Cook. Cook will be a superb option for a Southampton side pushing for promotion. He's been a consistent and no-nonsense centre-back in the English game for years. With experience and a strong sense of leadership, he will be able to shore up this defence in a heartbeat. Spurs, Troy Parrott. Parrott is highly rated at Spurs, but I don't think he has a long-term career with them ahead of him. He would benefit from another loan spell away or even a transfer. Currently playing for Preston on loan this season, he hasn't scored a lot of goals, but he is quite a menace when he plays, and I think in a bit more of a free-flowing scoring team, he could bag more goals in the Championship. West Ham United, Flynn Downs. Downs hasn't played too much for West Ham this season, and I could see him getting loaned out in the summer. He is a decent passer of the ball, which Southampton will need, as they will likely lose Ward-Prowse in the summer. He is by no means as good of a replacement, but I think he would do a very good job and will be an ideal transfer for this side. Wolves, Diego Costa. This is the last entry of the list, so I thought, screw it, let's go for a fun one. Costa's move to Wolves hasn't worked out as they hoped, having scored only one goal in the Premier League this season. In all honesty, I saw that coming. There was a reason he only scored 4 goals in the Brazilian League and was a free agent for 8 months before his move to Wolves. He clearly isn't good enough anymore for the Premier League, but I think he could score a bunch of goals in the Championship. Southampton will need goals in their team, and getting in a player on a free who has scored nearly 200 goals in his career, which has predominantly been for 2 of the biggest teams in the world in Atletico Madrid and Chelsea, they might as well take a punt on him. So there we have it, guys. That is who I think Southampton could sign from the other Premier League teams this summer. If you liked what you watched, please do remember to like, comment and subscribe, and let me know what you thought of my picks. Again, apologies Southampton fans. I do think you're getting relegated this season, and this is a list based on you guys being in the Championship. You know, fingers crossed for the rest of the season that you can stay up. That is the end of this video. Please do remember to come back for the next one, where we will be looking at Spurs. It's going to be a big one. They are still pushing for European football, and I think in the summer they're going to have to make a fair few recruitments, so make sure to come back for that video, and make sure to check me out on some of my other socials. I am on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok and Twitch, where I do all of my streaming, all under the same handle, Bolts96, the O0. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.